I was called by the then president, Arap Moi, in State House. I didn't understand why, but I went and I was in the official car. And when I got in, he was very friendly, and he asked me to be on Uhuru's side. I told him I can't. Just like that. I can't. He couldn't believe that I can say that. And there I stand red kapsa. Was doing it. I knew after that I'll get it. ODM has clocked 20 years. And remember, I'm a founder member. Okay. How did I become a founder member? Because you must start somewhere. Back in the days where the opposition came together to sort out Moi, yote yawezekana, there was the Rainbow movement. That time, I was doing my last year as the mayor of Thika. And that's when Moi decided that Uhuru was going to be his project. If you remember, I don't know, some of you are so young that probably you don't remember what happened. But at that time, I was mayor of Thika, but on the opposition bench. All of us were opposition. We didn't have, in Mount Kenya region, we didn't have members of parliament who were in Ikanu, as a party, no councillors, no mayors. We were all in the opposition, including Thika district then. So I was an opposition mayor. And therefore, when the opposition came together, I was drawn to the opposition, though the president then really tried to woo me to his side. I was one of their project, if negotiating in a serious way. And I remember having my own college mates from the University of Nairobi then, who are members of his cabinet, and they were telling the president, this one is ours, we will bring her on board. If you want to know some of them, I'll give you names. And they were actually given the task of making sure that I jump into the canoe boat. Unfortunately, they didn't manage. Musaria was my college mate. We had Isaac Ruto, who was a cabinet minister then, if you remember. We had Nyenze. And then, of course, we had we had others that we were not college mates, but the canoe insiders, like in Abonaya, Godana the late. There's this other guy from Mombasa, Katana. That was the team that was surrounding me to make sure that they convinced me to join. And I had a sitting with the president himself, the late Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. The meeting was arranged by the powers that be. They were really in. They said that I am good. I'm not supposed to be in the opposition. I don't know what good meant. So I had already made up my mind. I can't fit. We all know what KANU was then. We are still suffering. So, if you remember, I had a very successful term as the mayor of Thika. And I attracted the opposition. And because most of them knew how the government is trying to woo me, they were shocked that I can still stand like an innocent person and tell them to their face, and no. That shocked everyone. So that's how the high profile get attracted to somebody. I mean, who does she think she is? She's not fearing, she's not, I mean, like that. And remember, if you are around that time, the only rainbow rally done in Central Province then was in Thika, when I was mayor. And that day, Thika was a battle zone. If you dared to go and check for the tips, the tips from KTN, from even KBC then, NTV, Thika was a battleground. And all the rainbow team, if you know the rainbow team then, they were all here. And the rainbow movement was made up of the group of the Ngilu, Wamarwa, Kijana, Kirwa team. They had already formed NAK. Kibaki, Gilu, Wamalwa, and Kipruto. That was the NAK team. Then the Liberal Democratic team was made up of people who had jumped out of KANU. For example, we had Mude Awori, we had George Saitoti, we had Kalonzo, we had Raira, who was now like the team leader, and others had come in like Akina Nyachai. But I was on that team of the Rainbow Movement. And I was in a special category because every party needs people from the grassroots. And this one, they had gotten one, just one who managed to tell, you can go hang, something like that. And you remember us launching the Liberal Democratic Party at Uhuru Park, okay? So I was in the wing of the Liberal Democratic Party. But everybody thought, because of my name, I am DP. Let me just tell you something that happened before we went to the big Uhuru Park rally. I was called by the then president, Arap Moi, in State House, because I was the mayor, the girl. And I didn't understand why, but I went and I was in the official car. And when I got in, he was very friendly. And he asked me to be on Uhuru's side. And Uhuru came in when I when I was in. Maybe in that kind of a scenario, you would expect me to be nervous because this is my minister. We've been fighting because he was KANU. He was my last minister in local government, and he gave me hell. And now, this is the head of state retiring and asking me to support his candidate, his minister. And I told him I can't. Just like that. I can't. Because I told him, you know, he has the leadership genes. Give him time to stay with wananchi, to know how to respect people. And because he has the genes, at one time he will be, but not now. And your friend got so agitated. He couldn't believe that I can say that. And there I stand red kabisa. Was doing it. I knew after that I'll get it. So the oohing and being put between the two opposing forces is not new to me. And I always say it's by God's grace that you can tell somebody the truth from your heart. Even then, when I refused, the president said, this is one thing he likes about me. I speak from the heart. He said, well, he used to call me Mama Mayor. Hana ukora, hata kuambia nitafanya na hatafanya. So it's okay. And I was set free. Yeah, I was set free. He said he respects me because there were other incidences when I was mayor that had happened in the municipality, and decisions had to be made. And I made them. Even when Uhuru was my minister, and I told him there are some things that he cannot do. So saying no and asking why is a part of my system. And it becomes, I respect people who respect my asking, why do you want me to do it? And they explain to me. If you tell me why, then I will ask, but you know, it has a legal implication or something like that, and I say what I know. So making anybody who gives me space to air my discomfort, seek clarifications, becomes an easier person to work with. When I took over as mayor, and remember I was the first woman mayor in Central Province, it made a lot of people uncomfortable. Then there was this saying, and if you check around, even today, it is still whispered. A division between Murang'a and Kiambu. If you have not ever picked it, then you still have some groundwork to cover. So I didn't fit in any. And he asked me a direct question, where do you come from? And I said, I come from Thika. And it started when I was mayor. And then I was being disqualified because my parents live in Nyeri. And I said I don't believe in that nonsense. In fact, I called it nonsense. And it upset people. So some good wazees, you know, wazee, people who are older, and who will handle you so that you understand that that question is not nonsense. They asked me a very interesting question. We just want to know, it's soft. For example, if your husband died, where would you bury him? And I said, what? I'll bury him in Thika. And they asked me, what about your rural home? And I said, no, I'll bury him in Thika. We live here, we married here, our children no other home, so we will bury him in Thika. And I became difficult. And that is the angle they tried to use on me. And then the group around him had the famous Mungiki. They will deal with me. They were the ones now who were going to deal with the situation. The Wazes have been unable to deal with me. That other group is insisting that I don't qualify to be because of where I come from. The issue of Mungiki became unmanageable. And I would ask you to go do some research about how they treated us. And the hostility in Thika was so much that at some point the council was suspended by law by the Minister for Local Government. Suspended. We were meeting under trees outside here. And they once gave a notice to all women below then age 50 who had not gone through circumcision. And learning was paralyzed in all schools in Thika. They had their language. Then the departmental heads in Thika district, 7 of them were women. And them being in central government, I was their political face as the only woman mayor. So they came to meet me and said, how are we going to handle this? I went to the DC then and asked for a district education board because it's affecting the women. Teachers are not going to school. You can imagine the confusion of even girls who are working in day schools, including the mayor is a candidate also. It was a big issue. And the DC agreed to call for an education, a district education board, and it was a hot issue because even the provincial education officers came to the meeting. And I can tell you, the top representation of Mungiki then were present in that meeting. Yeah, they were present. Just to make sure you will, all those women who are there will fear to speak. The God we tunaomba just gave me courage and spoke on behalf of the women. And I challenged the security system, networks at the provincial level, at the district level, to declare it in that meeting that we are not a part of the country as women from Thika. We have no protection. So that when we escalate our problems now to higher level, the TVs are there, they will have seen that hatuna mtu wa kututetea. And I used some very vulgar language to tell the owners who wanted us circumcised that we are not going to do it. And let me tell you, that was our breakthrough. And then, of course, now the powers that be also picked me from there. They could see some abnormal courage in the making of a leader. But they kept on insisting. They have been sent by the KANU chairman. You're asking me about the hell. Who was the KANU chairman? Who was the project then? Who was being facilitated? And then the KANU district chairman then was also a person who would tell me things that you wouldn't tell a leader. And they had a KANU, a woman at district level who would also tell me things that I wouldn't say here. And I wondered, I kept on asking, where do such leaders come from? So the KANU team had formed a caucus of harassing me as a woman leader, the mayor. And for example, the woman leader who was very close to him would ask me, so we will not be speaking because you are a graduate at the University of Nairobi. So we will not be recognized. Kwani ukienda nyumbani jioni, si unalalishwa tu chini kama in Kikuyu, and in Kikuyu is bad. Si unapandwa kama sisi tu. So how do you find yourself in it's psychological hell. You are in hell. How I survived, I always say it's by the grace of God. So such were the incidences that made me have a very low opinion of him then. I had a low opinion, but I was still respectful because of the position he held. And that's why I had the courage to speak to it, to speak about it, because the president knew all the details, including that meeting, including how they had come to circumcise me at the parlor. He knew. And all those tapes are there. If you go to KTN, research them, you get them. My last minute in the full council has all the details. Already I had been celebrated in Johannesburg in the local authorities of Africa. Thika is the one that was leading in the country. So I had already been celebrated. You remember Kamodo was a key figure. He was my minister for local government. But then before that, my late husband, Dr. Ngaru, the other relatives, the Ngaru name is from Madioya. I married when I was at the university, but I can remember Kamodo being the minister for higher education sending us home, and we, after the coup, and we were reporting to the chiefs and that kind of thing. And we are still meeting in Gechagi in Cairo. Okay? So I was close to the Kamodo family, and they would come here, and I would tell them, people are tired of Kanu. You people, you will all go home. You know, in a friendly way. And then, because that time he was Kanu, he knew about me being looked for by the Kanu group and trying to tame my political ambition towards the Kanu side. So the team that jumped out of Kanu, they were with me, okay? The late Vice President, Saitoti, who was also a very close friend of Kamodo. A few times I told him, you know, he will not allow you. Before the Uhuru project came, I would tell him, but you know you will not get it. And he would get very upset. I told him, your president doesn't trust you. And something happened. Moi landed from outside the country, and I had told him that before. And at the airport, Moi said there is tofauti ya kazi na urafiki. You remember? Yes. I had told Saitoti what I had told him before that. After that incident, he called Kamodo. Get the mayor for me. She passed a message as we were eating, and we did take her seriously. And I was called, and I repeated. I'm not the one who gives that possession, but he told me, you are out of the equation. So how did you come to know about it? And I said, but people around the president were my college mates, and we are free, we talk. So they came here many times, and it's okay. But anybody during our time who had gone through what we had gone through in Kanu, it would have been a difficult decision to jump from the opposition to Kanu. Yeah. It is true, there was an MOU between Nyachai, the Nyachai's party, and the Raila party. But at Serena, if you've never had it, there were two secretariats. Me and Rari were manning one secretariat. And therefore, when we tell you the reasons why after the meeting and having walked to Uhuru Park, there was that pronunciation, is because we are eyewitnesses of the other leaders, the 8 of them, 8 or 9, who could not budge to give any one of them to have one presidential candidate. Saitoti was feeling he's senior, if you didn't know. Nyachai was feeling he is the most qualified. All of them had something. So we knew that Moi was waiting for that disagreement for him to announce. the election date. And you know how the crowd was charged. And as Raila studied the crowd, he knew. And for him, Siata Mzee Kibaki anatosha did the damage for all the others. So after that, it was damage control. But none of them would dare come out to say no, because the crowd was charged. They were with Raila on that side of Mzee Kibaki anatosha. So it was about, is it, why not me? And you say, why not me? And you say, why not me? And the other one is saying, why not me? And the crowd at Uhuru Park, if you remember, there was nothing that you could have done. The first secretariat, which was now the official one, ours, we were doing it for the Raila team. And in the Raila team, remember there was Saitoti, okay, who probably would not give Raila space. He was waiting to be the one. I'm telling you, every one of them wanted to be me. We knew it.